Hello and welcome back to Team Fortress 2 with Bobson playing a bit of Sujin today because I got a contract to do it, so I figured what the hell, might as well get the contract done while I am playing and recording for this week. So, let's get started on my pyro and start blasting with my flare gun because I love my flare gun. I always love the flare gun. Sniping with a pyro with a flare gun, always fun. But yeah, let's see. What do I want to talk about this week? As with every single week, I guess I'll talk about my channel. Let's see. Last week, this past week, in Terraria, I took on the cultist. I finally got to the cultist. I finally got to look at the cultists. And yeah, if you missed that episode, go check that out because I finally got to see. I got past the golem, and I got to see the cultists. So yeah, I finally got the golem down. I mean, I I tried a couple different times, but I couldn't get it down. Thanks to the new weapons and stuff I got out of the Eclipse, as well as the Goblin and Pirate Invasion, I was able to actually get the golem down. So if you missed that episode, go check that out. Next week on Terraria, I'm not really sure what it is I'm going to be doing. I don't know what else there is in my old world that I really need to take a look at, so I might just say goodbye to it for now and go ahead and start a brand new character on my new world with my new castle, new base, and do a slight jump start with a few extra heart crystals and stuff like that, and just get started and start exploring on an expert 1.3 world, because quite frankly I've been needing to do that for a while now. The world I've been playing on I've had for like 2 years, so I really do need a new world, and just going into it and exploring with the current character I have just feels a bit, yeah, I am way overpowered for basic non-hard mode world, even an expert world. And I really want to play it and experience the expert mode a bit more, actually how it's supposed to be done. But I am going to have a slight jump start with some extra heart crystals. But yeah, that's enough for that, I guess. Forest. Last week on the forest, I took a look at some of the new traps. Well, not the new traps, the old traps that I haven't really been using. And the ones that were updated previously, the noose trap, the happy birthday trap, and stuff like that, as well as rebuilding my spear, which previous one I built, I lost immediately. So I did rebuild his spear again. So yeah, if you missed that, go check that out. Next week on the forest, I'm not really sure what's going to happen, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, this coming week there is another patch. I think there was a 2-week... on the actual the opening screen, said it was supposed to be sometime this week, I think. I'm not really sure. I'd have to double check that, but I think there's going to be an update this coming week. I don't know what day it's going to be on, and I don't know how much it's going to change, whether or not there's a whole bunch of new content or just bug fixes, optimization, that type of thing. But hopefully there'll be something new I can take a look at, and I'll have an episode up next week of that. If not, then I don't know. But yeah, more Fallout, as always. I am pretty far into Fallout right now. I'm thinking about halfway. I don't know how much more I'm going to be recording of it. Probably another 30-40 episodes, though. I haven't even touched the DLCs yet, so still plenty to do there. How to Survive. Still more episodes of How to Survive coming out. I have like 9 episodes recorded, and let's see, 8 or 9 episodes so far recorded. And to be fair, I did record them all in one long 3-hour batch. And yeah, honestly, I did not realize how loud the music was, how loud the sound effects were. And yeah, I did not turn it down until just now. I started recording some more, and I did turn down the music, so after these next few episodes, the music will be gone, and the sound quality, the sound levels should be a bit more balanced, hopefully. But yeah, more How to Survive this coming week, just like last week. Still having a lot of fun with that. Third-person version of the game. Still a lot of fun, still good. So yeah, check that out. And that's what I've been doing on my channel and what's coming up, more or less. Yeah, I think that's about it, actually. So what else do I want to talk about now that that is out of the way? Well, I have actually been playing another game recently. Replaying another game, Dungeons and Dragons Online. It's an free-to-play MMO. Came out years ago, like I think 10 years ago, about the same time World of Warcraft came out. I occasionally go back to it simply because it's free-to-play, and it's a lot of fun. It isn't as much fun as like playing pen and paper D&D. I mean, it never was. It had elements of the pen and paper kind of D&D games, but it just wasn't the same, you know. But it had enough of it that caught my interest, because I used to play Dungeons and Dragons, like the tabletop pen and paper style Dungeons and Dragons, with people sitting around the table or over IRC. I used to do that as well. I had a bunch of online friends. We'd play D&D over an IRC chat thing. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. I used to have a lot of fun doing that. And that's one of the reasons I wanted to play DDO, Dungeons & Dragons Online. Plus one of my other friends got me to do it just when it started going free to play. And yeah, I played that game for years and had a lot of fun with it. Unfortunately, it's dying, or almost dead. There's like nobody playing it anymore. But yeah, I still go back to it occasionally, play around for a bit, then get bored and stop playing entirely, and then a few months, a year later, I go back again. But yeah, it got me thinking about Dungeons and Dragons, like the actual pen and paper game. I used to love playing that, but I haven't really played it in years. Like, I think the last time was like 6-7 years ago. It was an IRC game we were doing online. And last time I was actually playing face-to-face with people around the table was like 10-11 years ago. And I really do miss playing Dungeons and Dragons. I always played the 3.5 version. Never actually played any of the newer versions that's come out since then, but yeah, I always had a lot of fun with it. I mean, the fact that it is a completely open experience. You can choose what you do. You can choose how your characters interact with the world, and the fact that you have complete control over what your character does is so much fun. I mean, it's something you don't really get with even open world games like Fallout. You have choices, but you can't do anything you want. You have a lot of choices you can do. You can shoot people if you want to. You can start fighting and killing people, but you can't burn down houses. You can't just go off and start your own business or anything like that. That's basically on rails, and that's one of the limitations of video games and video game versions of these types of DDO, Dungeons and Dragons type games, where RPG role-playing games, is no matter how much open world feeling they have, they're still basically on a rail, and you have limitations on what you can do. Because in a pen and paper game, you are limited only by your imagination and by the DM, assuming he's not one of those guys that just wants to have your characters going on a rail and following the story and plot he has laid out. Assuming that you don't actually have a good DM that doesn't do that, you can basically do whatever you want. For example, one of the last games I actually played, it was over IRC, and our group was in this town fighting undead. It was just like right at the beginning of the campaign. We were like all level 2, level 3, and we were working for this local militia. We were fighting zombies and stuff, and it was right after the first mission. And we were in town, we were resting, having a lot of fun, because we just killed all the zombies and we completed our first mission, and we were all happy about it. And we had this one guy in the group who is kind of a min-max type guy who really just likes to focus on building his character. He doesn't care about the role-playing thing. He doesn't care about anything. He just likes the details. Every single point planned out. Every single feat, every ability, everything he wants. It's already planned out. He's level 1 and he's already planned what he's going to be when he's max level. You know, that kind of guy who just plans everything. And he had a viewpoint of his character that was completely unrealistic. He was playing a rogue, and he thought he could go like invisible and just go completely invisible, walk up to someone right in their face and kill them and stuff. But he couldn't do that. I mean, you can later on, but not when you're level 1 and you don't have the abilities to do it. But anyway, like I was saying, we were in this town right at the beginning, and this rogue took it upon himself to think that he could just walk into a local shop, do a combat roll, hide behind a barrel, and then rob the shopkeeper without anyone being aware. The only problem is, he walks through the front, he rolls through the front door and hides behind a barrel. And the shopkeeper's looking at him, watching him roll and hiding behind the barrel. And the DM is just not having any of it. He's just not playing along with the rogue's idea that he could just become completely invisible and hiding in plain sight and that kind of crap. He would not let him do it. The rogue just kept going and going, trying to hide, trying to do hiding checks to sneak around and rob this shopkeeper. Meanwhile, I think there was one other party member that was with him, just standing there laughing at it, laughing his ass off at him. Meanwhile, me and the other members of the party were somewhere else. I don't even remember what was going on, but the rogue finally got fed up with it and just killed the shopkeeper. He just straight up killed the shopkeeper, stabbed him in the face, I think, and he's dead. So he proceeded to rob the shopkeeper, and immediately afterwards, guards show up. And here we have a level 1, I think it was level 1, level 2 rogue with these city guards, and he just killed a friggin' shopkeeper. I mean, this is the type of thing that really does screw everything up. But he had a fairly bad idea in that he thought fairly quickly and blamed it all on a half-orc. That the guards were looking at him and saying, "Oh, did you just kill this guy? You killed this guy, didn't you?" And he immediately said, "No, it wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was this half-orc. He just ran out the back. Just went out the back door. I just came in here. I wasn't even here when it happened." And he passed a bluff check, and the guards actually believed him. So here we have this rogue, just straight up murdered a guy, robbed his store, and he lied straight through his teeth to the guard saying a half-orc did it. Now, normally that would be the end of the story, but immediately after the guards ran chasing out the back door after this fictional half-orc, the DM pointed out the fact that one of our party, who happened not to be there that week, because there was half a dozen of us playing, and that week there was 2 people that weren't there. But one of those people that weren't there was playing a half-orc. And quite frankly, he was probably the only half-orc in the entire town at the time. So, this rogue had just completely screwed us over, because now we have to get out of town. We have to get this party member who's not even there. So let me point out the fact that the way we dealt with this when someone wasn't there, since we were over IRC chat, we did not want to RP their characters while they weren't there, so we just had them be asleep. That's how we dealt with it. If the players weren't there, their characters were just quote-unquote asleep throughout the entire game, and we couldn't wake them up or anything. So, we had to get this half-orc character out of town, along with another character. It was a halfling paladin, I think, and we had to get them out of town, get them both out of town while they're asleep, without being seen, without having the guards who had just alerted the rest of the town guards to be on the lookout for a half-orc. And we had to do this without being seen, without being caught, all because of this friggin' rogue and his idea that he should be able to be completely invisible while he robs a store. So I came up with a brilliant idea. At least I think it was a brilliant idea. Had everybody else in the game, everybody else that was playing, laughing their ass off because of it. But I came up with the idea to get a barrel, a wheelbarrow, put the half-orc guy in it, and cover him in manure. And then take the halfling paladin, put him on top, put him in a diaper, and then just casually walk out of the street, down the street, and out of town. Why? I don't know. I thought it was hilarious at the time. Thought it would be funny as hell. I had no idea if it would actually work. But everyone was laughing, including the DM, which is the key factor here. Because the DM laughing his ass off meant he was going to let this shit work. and we did it. I got a wheelbarrow. We put the half-orc in there, covered him, got a big bag of manure, just covered him completely. Put the halfling on the top in wearing a diaper. And if anyone asked, we just told them that we had to get the halfling out of town. We were going to the local apothecary to meet up with a cleric because he had been cursed with magic diarrhea. And it was horrible. And we had to get him to a cleric really fast because he was filling the wheelbarrow as we went down the street. And that was the story we came up with. And yeah, and that's the kind of thing you could do in a Dungeons & Dragons game, tabletop pen and paper game. You could do idiotic crap like that. And the funny thing is, it worked. We got all the way to the town walls, right at the outskirts of town before we actually ran into any of the guards. And I told them the story of the halfling having magical diarrhea. We had to get him out of town quick. And I passed the bluff check. I passed my bluff check, just like that stupid rogue passed his stupid bluff check. And the guards believed us. And they pointed us in the direction of the local apothecary to where we could find the cleric. And we just got the hell out of town. We didn't even get paid. I mean, we were still working for the local militia. We hadn't even been paid yet, and we had to hightail it out of town because of the stupid rogue and his ideas of what his character should be able to do, even though he's level 2. And yeah, that's what I loved about Dungeons and Dragons. You could do completely idiotic crap like that and get away with it if you had a good DM. And that was one of the most fun things I've ever done in a Dungeons and Dragons game. The most memorable moments, I can actually say. But yeah, I miss playing Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't really had a lot of people to play with, and you need at least 4 or 5 people, and maybe a dungeon master who actually knows what they're doing. And it's hard to get a game like that together. It's hard to get one put together, find a dungeon master, find a DM that actually knows what they're doing, and actually get a game going. So yeah, haven't really been doing that in years, but yeah, I think that's enough for me this week anyway. So anyway, thanks for watching. This has been Bobson. This has been TF2, and until next time, I will see you later. Bye.